Alright. Guys, we have it. We have the patch. It came out a few hours ago. I had to lay down. CIG, you do this to me every single time. But I still love you. Okay. I love you, CIG. But we got to talk about this. But at the end of the day, yes, guys, they have dropped the Evocati patch. The once every 3 months where we actually become active on this channel. Not really a joke. But we're actually working on something. It's actually going to make this channel a lot more active than it really is. Give you a hint. Starts with M and ends in Machinima. But yeah, basically, guys, we're working on that at the moment. And once that's done, then we'll be uploading videos regularly. At the moment, it's just a lot of coding and stuff on my end. So, yeah. But regardless, not while you're here. 3.13 PTU Evocati patch has dropped. And to say I'm excited about this was probably an understatement. It is, yeah, probably a real big understatement. But regardless, strongly recommended players delete their user folder in the public client after patching, particularly if you start encountering old character graphics issues or crash on loading. The user folder can be found in default installation at blah blah blah. Database reset, yes. Long-term persistence enabled. Pledge enabled. Pledge copy enabled? Okay. Starting AUEC is $15 million. Current build is under NDA, which does not bother me because I have not signed that. Note, this patch does not contain all of the intended features, which will be added iteratively to the patches as they become available. Additionally, some features may be implemented in a partial state, such as they're ready for testing. When those features reach a playable state, it will be detailed in the patch notes and added to the testing focus. So basically, they're saying is testing focus is what they're really focusing on. Other stuff will be obviously added as time goes on. But do keep in mind, this is the first wave of the PTU patch, so not everything is in it. So as of the 3.13 Evocati release, we'll be now using the updated issue council for in-game issue related to the Evocati builds. The updated issue council will fall under the same NDA rules. We have set up a feedback thread at the link. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to block that out, maybe? I'm not quite sure. Cave entrances, ship-to-ship docking, reputation UI, new quantum sensitivity and time delivery missions, SDF shields, pushables, ship naming and forced reaction staggers. Good, amazing, good, excellent, amazing. Known issues. UI will display 0 out of 0 active members and audio channel even when players are connected. Players will have the UEC deducted when purchasing food or drink items but not receive the items. Client can crash when broadcasting beacons. Leaving a trolley in the doorway will clip through the floor erratically and kill players. Okay, don't leave trolleys laying around, people. Docking with the moving ship lags behind, causing a large snap to the dock position. Is docking in? Did they say docking? Docking? Ship-to-ship docking. Yep. God, this is a good patch. Actors falling out of ships when exiting moving Merlin Connie. Docking Merlin enters interactions. Don't show constellation is moving. User getting stuck on searching for match on all game modes after their initial EA game. It is possible for the player to click through the derelict geometry and fall through the moon's surface. The player is unable to sell personal inventory items using the Pembroke armor. Bounty hunter missions are rewarding, no reputation. The buyer interaction does not appear for multiple entry types. So, look, it's the first PTU patch. It's the first one, right? We're not expecting a lot of, running smooth. It's obviously going to be very buggy, but yeah. At the moment, we're looking at more of the features that are coming in to give you an idea of what we're going to be looking at within 3.13 goes live. So, new gameplay features, vehicle naming and serial numbers. This is the thing I want to know about. Adding ability to certain ships that display custom assigned names on the side of their ships. This will appear multiple times printed on the ship's hulls. Special serial numbers will be shown, and all other ships will have unique serial numbers displayed to identify themselves in the verse. This current build is Navicati. Only the 600i has naming function on the PTU website. Now, look, I've never seen the end of the day. Bummer that it's only the 600i at the moment, but it's just testing it. Once it's running smooth on the 600i and the other ships, I think they also want to do the Hammerhead and stuff like that, and the Star Runner. Once it's all running smooth, then every ship will get it, okay? So I know people are going to be freaking out like, oh my god, it's just the 600i. Oh my god, it's just the stuff. Guys, it's just to test it. You test it on something small, you make sure it works, and then you go through and implement it on a large scale. Right? And I'll give you an example, real world example. Here at the moment where I'm coding for Imperium Galactic Survival, right? Here's all the code here. Now, obviously, everything that's been hashed out, stuff that we're not using. This here is the Ruins Central. This is for like the Ruins building. If I was to go through and put that on every world, it would crash the game possibly and cause problems. So you go through and you do testing on the small scale, which is on this playfield, which is Athos, right? We're testing it on that field. Once it's working there, then we implement it to the rest of the universe. It is the exact same thing with Star Citizen, right? They go through and they put the serial numbers on one ship, they get it working on a few of them, and then at the end of the day, they then go through and implement it to the rest. So I've seen a few people having a whinge about the fact that it's only these certain ships. It's just to make sure it works. Once it's working, once there's no bugs, once they've kinked out all the kinks, then it'll be for every ship, okay? So just everybody needs to take a chill pill when it comes to this sort of stuff, alright? We know you want to name your ship, but at the end of the day, it's the reason why they're doing the Star Runner, the Hammerhead, the 600i, blah, 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 is because they are the latest ships that have that spot dedicated. Right, when they go through and they do this naming, if I was to do this as a programmer, as a dev, there would be a certain spot on the hull which would have a field or a box which then gets updated with the name. Now, they have to go through and they have to make sure that box, for example, if this is how they've done it, would have to be on every single ship. Chances are that box has been put on the last 3 to 5 ships, which is why your Star Runner gets it, which is why your 600i gets it, you know, your Hammerhead probably gets it, because it's a big ship, it was easy to find a spot for it. But the things like your Cutlass, your Aurora, and all this sort of stuff that have been out for years, that haven't had a rework in ages, chances are don't have those spots. And that's why they only do it to certain ships at the start. These ships, we can do it. It's easy. It's quick. It'll get it up and running. We can test it. Once that's working, then they go through and they put it onto everybody else. Okay? So you're not missing out. Right? You will get it. It's just that these ships are easy. These ships are done. We can do that to these ships, test it, and then bring it to everybody else. The reason why I'm hammering this topic is because I've seen a lot of people complaining that their ship is not getting ship naming at the start. Like I said, it's just small scale testing to make sure that it's not going to go crashing the game, that it's not going to go through and look stupid. You know, you're not going to have the font lifted off the side of the ship, right? That you know, that when your ship gets shot, that you don't have the writing floating around in space still when there's no ship left, or whatever it may be. You know, bugs and glitches. Ship-to-ship docking, adding the ability for the Merlin Snubs ship to undock with the Constellation, along with guidance mode UI to ensure the correct alignment during the docking procedure. Players will be able to use the auto land system and manual flight to dock, take off from the constellation, press the landing gear key binding, default N, and start docking procedures. To target the constellation, then hit the landing gear, default N, to initiate the docking UI. You can do the same docking with another player's Connie, but you'll need to request permission to dock. You have to have that player approve after initially docking the UI with their ship. So, reputation UI improvements. This is really, really cool. This is what I want to see. Features adds the addition of new mobiGlas app that will give players insight into their reputation with the important NPC and organizations they have interacted with. This will also include a total list of reputation ranks, including those have been completed on the ones that they're active working on. Object push and pull. Mechanics allowing players to grab some larger objects to move them around the environment by either pushing or pulling them. The initial implementation will have the use of trolleys that players can find in the world at the space station cargo decks and underground facilities. Mounted gun aiming CO. Further expanding the player's arsenal by allowing them to take control of mounted guns either on a vehicle or the ground. These weapons will offer greater firepower and stability at the cost of mobility. With the initial implementation, players can find these scattered around junk sites and underground facilities. Featured updates, locations, cave entrances, drive-in and sinkholes. Adding 2 new cave entrance types to the PU, the drive-in entrance will allow players to enter using the ground vehicle, while the sinkhole entrance will require players to enter using a ship. These new entrances will be replace some of the existing cave entrances. So that's interesting. So they're not new; they're just going to be replacing some of the old ones. Refinery stations, non-commercial room overlays. Introducing new non-commercial overlays to the areas of the refinery stations to add more variety and better suit the theme. Station system polish. Visual improvements for all of the Statin system, which includes updating assets, object presence, paints, planet painting, and then global data of all planetary bodies. New harvestable, which we've seen before. Degert root harvestable. Addition of the harvestable Degert, which is a micro flange found in the shallow coastlines of Hurston. Gameplay, force reactions. Update the force reaction system to add staggers that will happen based on the severity of the received force, causing the player to stagger in the direction of the received force. The distance and duration of the stagger increases the relation to the relative force until the force is great enough to trigger a knockdown instead. When staggering into a wall without a weapon, the character will raise their hands or shoulder, depending on the directions, surface to momentarily brace, halt themselves. G-force blackouts are now experienced by actors attached to something in the ship interior, usables like ladders, operator seats, weapons, etc., and actors in the prone front or prone back. Shields. So implementing improvements including the use of particles with the assigned distance fielding, SDF, to allow shields more closely comfort to the ship of the vehicle. Now we've seen this on the Idris and the Idris and the Javelin, and it looks really, really cool. So now this has been brought through to every ship in the universe, which is really good. Allow better visuals, distance, creating clear visual clues that the shield has been damaged and its overall health. I believe there's colours. Blue is, under fire. Red is under fire and weakening and about to dissipate. Mining components. Mining subcomponents will allow players to customize their laser to suit the specific jobs and encounters. For example, some will make mining entrances mining easier. Some will make it faster, and some will have a greater stat boost at the cost of serious trade-off elsewhere. These can be purchased in-game in shops or on refinery decks. So they're very much like the consumables, but they will last a lot longer. They're not a one-time use, but they are more expensive. Keep in mind. Law system improvements. Updates the law system including proximity crime, which one person on board a ship commits a felony, and the operation to hide, notifications and criminal ratings updates. So updates to the law system including proximity crime, when one person on board a ship commits a felony, and the option to hide, notifications and criminal rating updates. I don't know what that means. Option to hide notifications and criminal record tracking. Update the unmonitored bounty marker on the bounty suspends UEC. Update the unmonitored bounty marker when bounties and mobiGlas remains in use for a period of time. Marker will be updated when the bounty destroys a ship, kills players' AI. Update marker when the bounty dies or is killed, not arrested. So it just seems like they're just basically going through and just fixing a lot of the law system when it comes to that sort of stuff. So see how that goes. Addition to local delivery missions that have quantum sensitivity cargo, which will explode and damage ships if taken into quantum. I believe that was supposed to be in the Aegis mission, but I never found any of it. So, yeah. Timed multiple... I know I didn't find it because my ship didn't blow up. Timed multiple drop delivery missions, adding a missions with time-sensitive cargo in which players are expected to deliver multiple packages, each with a slight varied timer, meaning players will have to prioritize which box to drop off first. Ships and vehicles, Aegis Gliders visual updates. We have made many changes to update the increase the visual standard of the Aegis Gladius, because obviously that's the flagship. This includes many levels of detail, decal, geometry, material, paint changes inside the cockpit on the exterior of the ship, smooth ramp collision proximities for ships to help pushables and vehicles on them. Removed access to the carrack and mold turrets when landing gear deployed, landing to prevent clipping issues. So I suppose if you're in the turret and you go to land, it just kicks you out of the turret, maybe? So, weapons and items. Equip MedPen replaces the previous function of the immediately using a FPS consumable to heal or oxygenate. MedPens are equipped by pressing the consume action, C key, or by interaction with the pen and selecting equip. Interaction or when selecting a pen from the FPS consumables, quick select pen wheel on user's self is triggered by clicking mouse 1 left button, after which the pen is automatically discharged and dropped. FPS consumable quick select wheel can be opened by holding the C. Med pens can be holstered, reattached to the suit attachment by holding R, or by selecting the holster action from the FPS consumable select wheel. Medical pens can now be interacted with in the same manner as other equipped carryables, grenades, weapons, etc. via the interaction system and can be carried, equipped, inspected, and stowed. Seems like they're making med pens a lot easier to get, which I like, because it's painfully hard sometimes. It's a bit clunky. So, yeah. Cortec. Use folder location changes. With this update, the user folder structure has changed in a slight amount. This will add a couple of extra layers of subfolders inside of the original user folder compared to previous releases, which require controls and other settings to be moved to the new location if you save custom user folders. User folder location is changed to install/user client/0. Okay. Major bug fixes. Fix multiple asteroids and rocks in areas inside and outside of Grimhex where players cut through them and get stuck. Fix low gravity that was occurring inside some of the underground facilities. Players should no longer be wrongly awarded ace or killing spree when killing only 1 or 2 enemies in Arena Commander. Replace me balls should no longer be present at the Customer Service and Trade and Development Division of Area 18. Fix multiple areas around the seats on the refinery decks where players could get stuck. Fix multiple viz areas around the New Deal or in Lawville. There should be no longer many major chairs inside of tables at Grimhex. Should be no longer be any chairs inside of tables. Okay. There should no longer be missing bar stools at the bar at Grimhex. Fix geometry around Miles Eckhart that allows players to get stuck between the table and the wall, and fixed an issue causing windows and glass displays to become blurry when player is close to them. They've also fixed 1 client crash and 3 server crashes. So yes, I do know this is a pretty long patch note. Thank you for staying it to the end. But at the end of the day, guys, obviously, look, it is a really good patch. Yeah, I like this patch. As long as they can get it stable, I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, obviously that's the thing. Obviously, it's the first patch. We're not expecting it to be stable. Ivocati have an amazing job to do because obviously they get the putty end of the stick all the time. But at the end of the day, guys, apart from that, yeah, look, obviously I really want to get my hands on this, to be honest. This seems like a really good patch. I'm really impressed. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the patch? What are you looking forward to? Me, it's everything pretty much. But I really look forward to docking, ship naming, and yeah, they're the big 2 that I really want. Oh, and SDF. But let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Apart from that, guys, obviously we'll see you in the next episode or next video when there's a new patch. And obviously stay tuned to the Twitch or to the Discord because we are working on a project. I've shown you a bit of it already with the coding. So yeah, it's a machinima for Imperium. So yeah, really good storyline, and I love the guys that you guys know, Fez, Ronan, a new guy called Free Jack. We're all going to be making a machinima, so stay tuned for that. Apart from that, guys, have a great night, enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night.